I'm Lisa. I'm sitting at the dining table in my parents' house. The ticking of the grandfather clock fills the heavy silence, like a metronome marking the rhythm of long-held tension. I'm wearing my graduation cap, a symbol of an achievement that went unnoticed years ago. Across the table, my mother, Evelyn, sits stiffly, her eyes fixed on the non-disclosure agreement I've placed in front of her. My father, Henry, looks down at the table, his hands pressed flat as if trying to hold something in place. My sister, Lily, is biting her nails, her face pale and drawn. The room is filled with an unspoken history, a story that began long before this moment. I remember the day I received news of my licensing deal. I was in my Seattle apartment, surrounded by the glow of 3 monitors displaying the compression algorithm I had spent years perfecting. It was a rainy day, as it often is in Seattle. The rain beat against the windows when my phone buzzed. It was Mark, the VP of Infrastructure at Technova. "Andrea, it's done. Legal signed off this morning. $5 million a month, exclusive license, 3-year minimum with renewal options. You've built something extraordinary," he said. I thanked him and set the phone down. The rain continued as I stared at the numbers in my brokerage account, $60 million a year. A figure that felt almost surreal. My mother had always said I'd never amount to much. But the numbers told a different story. I had no one to share the news with, or so I thought. I called my friend Maya. She had been my college roommate when I struggled with dyslexia. She read my textbooks aloud while I coded, and I helped her with statistics. Now, she was a sharp-witted startup attorney. $5 million a month, Andrea. Do you understand what this means? You're rich, she said. I mumbled that I was, but the idea of telling my parents filled me with dread. They wouldn't understand, I said. Are you afraid they still won't care? Maya replied. I changed the subject, and she let me. I hadn't spoken to my parents in over 8 months. The last message I received was from my mother, telling me that Lily had received a promotion at her consulting firm. I stared at it for a long time, typed and deleted replies, then put my phone away. To understand this dinner, you have to go back to my graduation. 4 years ago, I drove 3 hours to my university campus. I had just completed my computer science degree, but it had taken me 6 years. I worked full-time writing code for a shipping company while taking night classes that ended late. I was proud of myself, even if I struggled to express it. I saved 2 seats for my parents. Row 14, near the aisle, considering my father's bad back. I had emailed them directions, even highlighted the accessible entrance. The ceremony began at 10. By 10:15, the seats were empty. By 10:30, a stranger sat in one of them and gave me an apologetic smile. I sat through the ceremony alone. When my name was called, I walked across the stage with a calm expression, hiding everything I felt inside. Afterward, I called my mother. I could hear laughter and clinking silverware in the background. We're at Lily's work celebration brunch, she said. You know how it is. I graduated today, Mom, I said. There was a pause. Then she replied, Honey, it's just a state university degree. Lily has her Ivy League MBA. Let's not make it a big deal. I sat in my car for a long time, watching other families celebrate. My graduation cap went back into its box and stayed there for 4 years. Then everything changed. A technology journalist wrote about my licensing deal. The article went viral. A few days later, my mother called. Andrea, we need a family meeting. Can you come, Thursday, then? This is important, she said, as if the word family could fix everything. I knew these calls always came with a purpose. So I called Maya. When was the last time your mother called without wanting something? She asked. I checked my call history. There was no answer. That night, I lay in bed with an old green notebook beside me. It was from when I was 12. My father had written inside it, For Andrea, who sees things differently, he had once taken me to a diner on Elm Street every Saturday morning, teaching me coding on an old laptop. No explanations, just patience. That notebook became the foundation of everything I built. When I arrived in Charlotte, I drove past my parents' house. Through the window, I saw a photo wall filled with Lily's achievements. Diplomas, awards, wedding pictures, nothing of me, as if I never existed. Later, my father called. "I saw the article. I always knew you were smart," he said. Then he added, "Your mother thinks you could help Lily's business." And just like that, I understood. I wasn't being seen as their daughter. I was being seen as an opportunity. Lily later called too, asking for investment. When I questioned the lack of revenue in her business filings, she became defensive. "You owe this family," she said. Then came the phrase I had heard before. "You were just doing your little computer thing." That night, I realized the truth. The meeting wasn't about reconnection. It was about control. Now, I'm here at the dining table. My mother stares at the NDA. "What is this?" she asks. "A non-disclosure agreement," I reply calmly. "You haven't been my parents in a long time," I say when they protest. The clock ticks louder. I tell them everything: the missed graduation, the ignored years, the money diverted to Lily's failing business. My father's eyes fill with tears. Lily looks stunned. My mother's face burns with anger. But I don't stop. "I'm not investing in Lily's company," I say. "If you want a relationship with me, it starts with honesty." I stand up, leave my graduation cap on the table, and walk out. As I drive away, I feel something I haven't felt in years: relief. I've finally faced the past, and I'm ready to move forward. Months later, I sit in my Seattle office. The smell of fresh paint still lingers. Maya's espresso machine hums in the background. My engineering team is building something new. On my wall hangs the first page of that green notebook, a reminder of where I started. Lily's company eventually collapsed. She called me again, but this time, the conversation was different. Softer, more human. My father later sent a photo of us at the diner. On the back, he wrote one word: Saturday, and every time my phone buzzes now, there's still a small part of me that hopes for something real. But I've learned to live without waiting. What I've built isn't just technology, it's a new life. And I'm ready to keep building it, one line of code at a time.